Hi everyone, this is just a quick update regarding how the neck surgery went. I ended up being in a collar for about 3.5 months, maybe closer to 4 rather than the 6 weeks. The PT went well. I did that with Jane out of Henry Ford for about 6 weeks, maybe a little longer. That went really well. I haven't lost like a whole lot of motion. The low profiles, which they used instead of a titanium plate and screws, works out really well. There's only some, I would say that like arthritic, like when it's going to rain, I can feel it. But otherwise, for the most part, a lot of the peripheral problems I was having because of the dislocation of the subluxation of the discs above and below the original fusion. I was getting pains down my hands, pinches under the arm that wouldn't go away, just a lot of really distracting pains. That stuff has been taken care of. So yay on that one. I'm going to make this really quick. I have a lot going on right now, and I'm just kind of squeezing this in. I still have back issues that I have done just an uncountable amount of radio frequency thermographies, which they go in and burn the nerves. And then I was doing lidocaine and cortisol shots, which was great in helping me gain weight. They had me on gabapentin. I'm only taking that twice a day at 100 to 200 milligrams a dose. It helps with the nerve pain, but the doctors that I'm going to be working with now, we are going to have to do what's called a discectomy on my lumbar area. I have what's called an annular tear. It is not something that heals itself, so surgery is the only option. For some of the other back problems, I'll be doing platelet therapy. I will do an update in a couple of months on how those two things work out. So that's the health. So yay, progress. I do want to quickly discuss the fact that so all of this actually started in 2004. I was having some problems with my neck. We did the first fusion. Then 18 months later, I was in a car accident in the middle of Virginia, in the middle of nowhere. There was this huge pile up, and we got rear-ended. When we finally got out of the traffic jam, in which there was no cell service, go figure, it took a while, and there was a lot going on, so it was just a shit ball rolling downhill from there to now. Once I got back to Michigan to see the gentleman who had originally done the first fusion, there was just so much chaos, and then fast forward to today. Between that time and now, I have published 6 books just through Blurb. I've created hundreds of pieces of art which I haven't had documented. I have put up as much as I could, barring the physical limitations. So I will put the links for the few of you who are curious. for the website, which I finally got up through Art Storefronts. Great place. If you are a creator and you are looking for a place that can really, really help you get your work out, I definitely, and you have the money. It's kind of expensive to go through those guys to get started, but they have a lot of support systems. There are a great many artists who have made amazing amounts of money. If you go to Facebook and go to Art Storefronts and check out their group page, you will see some really wonderful feedback from the artists and photographers that post over there. For me, just getting stuff up and out is just goal orientated. I don't have a lot of sales, which is fine, because for me, it's not about sales. It's just about creating. It's about getting the stuff out there, completing my goals. So that happened. I will put the links below for the books. If you see me looking down, I have a lot of notes, and it's the only way that I can keep up with everything. So I'll try to remember to put the links in for the website. For my Society 6 page, which is a third-party host. They do all kinds, they're a lot like Zazzle and Redbubble, but I really like them. They got a really nice community. I'm also on Zazzle and Redbubble, but I just don't have time to keep up with anything. I really don't. Let's see. So I'll put up the links for the art, for the books of poetry, and there's one book of short stories. I have gotten a lot of, the perk about this experience for me is that when everything was at its worst and I was really not sure if I was going to live to see today, I spent a lot of time organizing. I got to go through every piece of paper from people that I had, friends. That's a story in its own. I got to go through and organize things that I had collected over my lifetime that didn't get lost in like moves and things that will happen to us. And I got to give everybody back all of their stuff. In the middle of my journey, I lost friends. I lost my kids for a really long time. Not lost them. They decided they didn't want to talk to their mom. That is, as of earlier this year, last year, my daughter and I started rebuilding our relationship. My son and I started rebuilding our relationship just a couple of months ago. And really, those two humans, probably because I'm the one that made them, are really the only people that I want to talk to, because when things were at their worst, like, and this happens, I found that what I'm about to say is universal. There are a lot of people out there that are going through something similar to me, and they have had the same reaction by the people that they love. They just are not there. And they weren't, they really weren't. And so that's okay. I've always been, I understand that some of it's because I've always been like a really strong person. I've been through a lot of things in my life that would completely destroy other people. And what almost destroyed me and really did take away a lot of who I was, who I thought I wanted to be, was the pain. It wasn't that people that I thought I could depend on and people that I knew I couldn't depend on were vacant and just kind of left me in a really, really dark place. as a Scorpio, it's not so bad. We're used to that shit, kind of like our holes. But it was the fact that, a lot of the people that I loved and I thought I had close relationships with, like, I wouldn't talk to for months. And sometimes they would only call me like, oh, I have this and this going on. Can you do a reading for me? I used to do tarots and I used to do rune stones. And like they would just call me for advice. They would call me when they needed something. They would call me when something was going wrong. And that was okay. I accepted the people that I loved for what they were. And I always felt honored that like people liked me enough that they felt like that they could come to me with anything. And that's that kind of trust isn't, it's not inherent in every relationship. But for me, it was like that was genuinely the basis of many of my friendships. And when the worst part in my life, and that's saying a lot, occurred, the fact that there was a mass exodus of these people, it was hurtful. It really, like, I really think that, I feel like that departure was really, what impacted me the most, in a negative way, because, like I was talking, so I talk truthfully, both with my kids and the people that I love. I only hold things back if I feel like it's going to hurt you. And if I'm saying something to hurt you, you probably deserved it. So I was talking to my daughter the other day, and this is how this has impacted my personality. I really feel like I must have been like a shit friend. I must have been like, for whatever illusions I had of myself, they were so off track that it was okay for all of these people. There are more people in this world who know who I am than I remember meeting. I know that there's like hundreds, literally hundreds of people that I have met in my life who know me. And sadly, one of the byproducts of the illness that I just came through is, and sort of I say sadly, I can't really say sadly, because I don't remember these people. Like, there's a whole shit ton of people like that are just gone from my brain, because I got so sick that there are holes in my memory. There are things I know I should know and I don't. And so I understand how some people who felt, maybe really close to me at one point and I don't remember them, could have their feelings hurt. But when I was sick, it was bad. It was bad. I did not think I would be here today. I'm super grateful for the time. Sorry for the interruption. Anyhow, so I'm having to figure things out as we address the health issues that have created this life of chronic pain, and an either or being that either I do this and I don't do that, or I do that and I don't do this. And that's a really hard decision to make, because I never know what kind of day it's going to be. And because the pain level gets so mind numbing and I never know when it's going to hit, it makes it really hard to be sociable. And it's very hard to really have any kind of connection with people because it makes you crazy. I was pretty crazy before, so you top that off with some pain and madness, and it makes relationships just amazingly difficult to participate in, to cultivate, and it really makes you doubt like yourself. It makes you doubt everything that you ever thought about your entire existence. Now, the perk of this is that I was able to, as stated, I got to go through everything I had ever collected in my life. Things that, knickknacks, things that people give us, things that mean a lot to us, and just kind of help us to, they're like little road signs, like, oh, I remember when I got this, so and so gave this to me, like, I had this little vase. It was probably about this big, and it had a yin and yang sign on it that a friend had given me back when she was still in high school, and I think I'm 5 years older than her. So I was out of school. I had 2 kids when I met her, and she was actually one of my baby brother's ex-girlfriends. And her and I stayed in close contact. But anyhow, so my point is that a lot of stuff that people like, usually when you get super sick, you don't see it coming. When we leave this world, we don't often, I mean, there are people right now who are living with terminal cancer or any kind of terminal condition, people that have COVID and are stuck in ICU, and they're kind of floating between here and the next land. You don't get the opportunity to look at all of your stuff and go, okay, I want this person to have this back. I want this person to have this back. And I got to do that. I got to make sure that the people that I could contact got, I'm sorry, 3 seconds. Everybody got all their stuff back, and I got to organize my entire life to date. Because there were I've moved from where I had been living for 15 years to another space. Luckily, this is a much better space. I've been really, really blessed, amazingly so. Not just the doctors that I've worked with. Some of the nurses have been, I would definitely say, that my entire existence today is because, 1, I refused to give up. 2, the people I finally did get to work with and am working with now have done their best to help me reach my health goals. And so that's where we are today. So if I have anything to offer you, whoever you are, especially if you are in pain, if you are, and this has been a really, I'm sorry, I have a hair in my eye. This has been an exceptional learning curve for me, and that is, as a woman, the medical community teaches us, they treat us differently. They treat us like we can't handle pain. I was told that it's all in my head. I have unresolved issues that are contributing to my pain, which is bullshit, because I talk all the time about everything. I talk uncomfortably so for many people. So, and plus, as you know, as I was receiving this feedback, like I was trying to prove them right, in that, oh, you need to work on your core. You need to work harder. One of my favorites was a friend who was really one of the problem child in this issue. The comments to me were, you just don't want it enough. Or my favorite, you just want to be babied. You just want attention. You know, the people, I don't know if people realize like the way they treat the people they say they love. And I think that, that definitely put me behind on reaching my health goals for sure. And that the medical community in the beginning did not take this seriously. They did not, they would rather look at you and tell you that you're not working hard enough. And when you hear this from the people that you love, especially not just the medical community whom you assume, because they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of hours just to practice medicine, that they would, that they would understand that, if I'm telling you these are the same exact places every time that are hurting, or this is what occurs to me, occurs when I'm exercising, when I'm trying to ride my bike, when I'm walking, when I'm trying to do groceries, when I drive, that they would take you seriously. They do not. They do not. I have found this especially to be so for other women, because I do talk to people. I would like to and I got to wrap this up because I'm running out of time. So in closing of this ramble, this is what I want you to know. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on yourself. There is not going to be any human being in this world who can support you, who can get you through anything that you experience in this life. You alone are your best cheerleader. You alone are your worst critic. And being your own critic, that's okay. That's a good thing, because looking at our flaws makes us better human beings, I think. Understanding our limitations is probably one of the most difficult things you can do. And that is to say, I gotta stop. I can't do this. But if you have to, just know that there's always gonna be people that are going to question you. They're gonna doubt you. You're gonna doubt yourself. And that is still an ongoing issue for me, is the self-doubt. But I say it all the time, I am my own best cheerleader. And I mean it, because my whole life, it's always been me versus me. So if you are struggling, if you are finding yourself alone in this world, if you find yourself in a predicament that you cannot get out of, just know that you always have you. You always have yourself. There is a whole business model for old people. What happens to us when we can no longer take care of ourselves? I've been in enough nursing homes and hospices to know that in the end of our life, we are alone. Some people are lucky enough to have their whole family around them when they go. The majority of us will not. The majority of us will die alone somewhere. So just be your best friend. You have a me, myself, and I, and sometimes that team that team is the one that gets you through. So love yourself. Be easy on yourself. If you can't do something, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let people bully you into doing things that you know that are just going to make it harder for you. Give yourself credit always, even for the little things. There are some days where the only thing I can do is lay down and binge watch Netflix. So, and if that's all I can do, you know, that's all I can do. But that doesn't mean that's the end of my world. So just know you will have your good days and you will have your bad days. And you just have to get through it the best way that you can. If you have people that love you, if you have people that support you, always don't let them fuckers go, because that is rare. And right now in our world, it is even more rare that people are supportive and loving and kind and understanding. They want it, you know, when the tables are turned, they want that compassion. They want that understanding. They want people to respect those boundaries. But when it comes time for the same thing to be reciprocated, it's not, it doesn't happen often. So, in closing, if you are a creative type, create. It will be your foundation through all of the worst shit that you will go through. If you are not creative, try it. Try something. Do something. Whatever it is that makes you feel like your life is worth living. Do it. Just do it, because we're gonna die. We're going to die and it's not going to matter. And I am quoting Billie Eilish on that one. God love that little girl. And before I go, let me say, to you kids in this generation, thank you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being who you are, especially the good ones. Those of you who are sick of the pollution, the ones who are sick of the status quo, the ones who are unwilling to accept that unkindness is just human nature, the ones who are trying to make it better for each other, the ones of you who are embracing people for who they are, whether you are accepting of tradition like he, she, her, him, or if you're more progressive and you recognize why some people are I'm a they, I'm an I'm an am, I am not a thing, I'm not this body, I am who I am. Thank you, because the world needs more acceptance of who we are as people. If we will accept ourselves and accept other people based on the soul and not the flesh, we will be so much better off. That is it. That is the end of this stream. I have an appointment in the next couple of weeks to find out about the back surgery and the platelet therapy. I probably won't be back for another year because got shit to do. I hope whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you take anything away from this, be your own best cheerleader and don't give up. Do not give up on yourself. You are all you have. Take care. I'd say stay out of trouble, but what fun would that be?